blue eyes, so you can wipe off that grin. Know where you've been, some in a pack lies, and I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins came off his 1981 album Face Value, and it's a great one. And I think a lot of you probably know the song for this little drum fill right here. It's so good. So yeah, it's that song. The drum fill was actually done somewhat by accident. They called it a happy accident, or a mistake that they put down and then realized that it sounded really good. It was done by a technique called gated reverb. Apparently it's highly compressed and then it cuts off suddenly and it gives that distinct sound. Here, I'll hit the button again. The opening of the song uses a Roland CR78, which just puts down this little dubbing sound, this little track that almost to me sounds like a microphone turning off and on, but it creates a really cool atmosphere. So as I was researching this song, I noticed that every time Phil Collins played this song, he had a paint can sitting on his piano stand. And every live performance seemed to feature a can that looked a lot like this. And so that got me thinking. I did some research, and I'll be talking more about how this plays into the song in just a minute. But before I go into the real meaning of the song, I wanted to talk about the urban legend that I had heard as a kid. You know, this song was huge in the 80s. I mean, it was on the radio all of the time, and it had that real mysterious, ethereal sound. You knew something big was going down. He keeps talking about in the air tonight. Some climax, some big thing was going to happen. And so I remember I had a friend tell me, well, you know the story of this song, right? As legend has it, Phil Collins had witnessed a murder go down, and he was being restrained. He couldn't stop the murder from happening, but he saw the man's face, and then he decided in a sting operation, he invited that man to a concert. He played this song for him live. The spotlight shone down on the man, and then he pointed a finger and said, "You're the man that murdered that night," as the lyrics go on and as the drums got intense. I love that story. I wish it were true. The true story of the song is actually much more tragic, as it involves the divorce to his first wife, Andrea Bertorelli. But I think before we get into the song In the Air Tonight, I thought I would actually bring up a second song. So this video is going to be kind of a 2-for-1. I'm going to briefly talk about another song that came from a demo in 1981 entitled How Can You Just Sit There? He didn't end up using those lyrics in the song, interestingly, but it kind of conveys his emotion that he had. How can you just sit there, you know, when our marriage is on the line? Later, he released the song in 1984 for a soundtrack called Against All Odds. And so this song, Against All Odds, is also about the divorce from his first wife. So let me play a little bit of that song, and I want to highlight some of the lyrics that I think will be important as we go through In the Air.
How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we've shared the laughter and the pain, and even shared the tears. You're the only one who really knew me at all.
I wanted to highlight those lyrics. You're the only one who really knew me at all, which are very heartbreaking and romantic lyrics. It's Phil Collins' way of saying, you're the only one who loves me. You're the only one that really knows the true me. And you're going to see those lyrics, a similar version of those, come up in the Air Tonight. Let's keep going.
So take a look at me now. There's just an empty space. There's nothing left here to remind me. Just the memory of your face. Oh, take a look at me now. There's just an empty space, and you coming back to me is a game.
Pretty nice drum fill there as well. But this idea that her coming back to him is against the odds. The damage had been too deep. It was against the odds. He knew it, and yet he wanted it so badly. So as I mentioned before, Against the Odds and then also In the Air Tonight are both about this same topic, about this divorce to his first wife. He's broken up about it. And what I discovered is really fascinating, that his heart is actually split in two. He's feeling two emotions at the same time. As many of you, I'm sure, can relate to, when you're faced with a very serious amount of grief, often you can feel anger and sadness. And so at first I thought, okay, these two songs, one of them represents the anger he's feeling towards this divorce, and the other one represents the sadness. So then what does this paint can have to do with all of this? Well, it turns out that Phil Collins' wife had had an affair with a gentleman that was tasked with remodeling their apartment or their home in England. And as he discovers this, he discovers he's a painter. And so Phil Collins, in kind of an act of defiance, would put this on his piano whenever he played this song live. So it turns out the lyrics to In the Air Tonight were actually written in anger, not to his wife, but to the painter, to his wife's lover. So it should be noted that there were rumors of infidelity on both sides. And so I don't mean this lyrical telling to be any kind of judgment. I don't know exactly what happened in their marriage, but the emotions are on display. I mean, it's very obvious. He's got one song that's very tender, begging and pleading to get his wife back. And then he's got this other song that's really angry. It's directed towards this painter. But it's this bifurcation that is very intriguing to me. And I almost think it's old-fashioned that Phil Collins is going to say, look, this is my wife. This is the mother of my children. I'm going to treat her well. I'm going to treat her with tenderness. I want her back. But I'm going to pour all of my wrath, all of my anger into this man, into this painter. I mean, I'm sure he may have felt anger towards his wife too. And interestingly, as he described the writing process of this song, the lyrics just poured out of him. He didn't write them down. He didn't pen them. He just sat at the piano, and this is the first take of what came out. And so maybe they aren't totally coherent, but they definitely represent his emotion at the time. So let's now listen to the lyrics. Now that we know their meaning, it's kind of like a punch to the gut. There's a lot of emotion here, and it's very raw.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord.
This idea that it's coming in the air tonight, and I'm not sure what he was thinking of when he said those words, but how I take that is that there's going to be a confrontation. It's coming. This is all going to blow up. It's probably going to blow up my family, but it's coming in the air tonight. Let's keep going.
Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord. Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend.
Okay, this is kind of creepy, but I've seen your face before, my friend. But those lyrics before that are brutal. If I saw you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. So the anger's coming out here. He is not happy with this man. Let's keep going.
But I don't know if you know who I am.
Okay, this was the lyrics that I was referring to in the first song, Against All Odds. As you recall, you're the only one who knows me at all.
You're the only one who really knew me at all.
Is what he's saying to his wife. You're the only one that loves me. You're the only one that knows me at all. And this lyric says, but I don't know if you know who I am. This guy doesn't know Phil at all. There's no love towards Phil, obviously. And there's possible meaning of ego where don't you know who I am? I'm Phil Collins. I'm kind of a big deal. But I think it's the other. I think it's this idea that my wife knows me, she loves me, but you're just coming in here in the middle of our marriage, and you don't even know who I am. You don't love me. And so that's a very raw lyric right there.
Well, I was there and I saw what you did. I saw it with my own two eyes.
All right, so I don't know if this is fact or fiction.
Not this time. It never happened. It's false.
But according to the song, he witnessed the infidelity. That's got to be devastating. He says, I saw it with my own two eyes.
So you can wipe off that grin. I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies.
So this idea that it's been a pack of lies. Apparently they've had interactions. He acts like everything's just fine. And yet I know where you've been. It's all been a pack of lies.
And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. Well, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Okay, so the lyrics are getting a little repetitive here, but it doesn't matter. It's building this tension. And if you listen to the audio with headphones, you'll notice there's actually now two voices in here. And the guitar is just wailing. You know, this is almost like Phil Collins is crying, but he's also angry. And the guitars are just hauntingly wailing. You've still got that drum beat that's actually just a drum machine in the background. Kind of gives it that sterile feeling. But now we get to the more serious part of the song, or more of the climax.
I remember, don't worry.
Okay, so that I remember, it's augmented with a robotic sound, and what I take from that is just that sharp flash of anger. He's angry that he remembers this incident.
How could I ever forget? It's the first time, the last time we ever met. But I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me. The hurt doesn't show, but the pain still grows. Some strangers to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Okay, I hate to interrupt this. This is so good, but the drums for me almost sounds like violence. It almost sounds like, you know, maybe Phil isn't a violent man, but I'm going to take out on you with this drums. So you almost picture every drum beat are punches. And so the lyrics are going to get repetitive here. But this time you're going to hear drum fill here and there. And I want you to picture he's taking jabs. He's taking out his anger on this man. But I think it's kind of cool that he's doing it musically. He's not doing it literally. But listen to this. It sounds a lot like that to me.
Lord.
Okay, so that does it. That does it for that song. Gosh, that's raw. And to think of it in the context of a divorce just makes it worse, or makes it more of a gutter. I do have to also say that, you kind of want to know the end of the story. He sings this tender song to his wife, how can you just sit there? How can you leave me alone? I wish you would turn around and see me crying. He says later in the lyrics, I want you to see my grief. I'm sorry. Please take me back. But then she probably wasn't too pleased with him putting the paint can on the piano. So maybe not the best strategy. I have to say, sadly, Andrea never did take Phil back. As he prophesied, or as he said in his lyrics, it was against all odds. It was against the odds. And the odds were not in his favor. They did not reunite. Even to this day. But I do still like the fact that he's kind of going about this in an old-fashioned way. I'm going to show my anger towards the painter, but I'm going to show tenderness towards the wife, towards the mother of my children, which I think is healthier than some other things. And of course, taking out your anger musically, hey, that's better than how some people do it. So that's the true meaning of the song. And you think about the emotions that these songs bring out, especially that second one. I obviously, we had our urban legend that Phil Collins had witnessed a murder, and that was a lot of fun. But I wonder, what are some of the things that this song brought to your feelings, or what was the psyche that it brought to you? I'd love to hear in the comments your interpretation. That's the wonderful thing about lyrics and about songs. The artist may have had something in mind, and it's really fun to find out what that was. But as we listen to these songs, as these songs are released out into the wild, they take on a life of their own. So do me a favor, write in the comments if either of these two songs, or if both of these songs had great meaning for you back in the 80s, or maybe even today. I'd like to read those. I do read all of my comments. But isn't that what makes music wonderful, is that it can have different interpretations and different meanings for all of us? This has been the Lord of Lyrics, home of the channel where lyrics reign supreme.